Raj had a small shop at the corner of a quiet city street. The shop was not fancy. The walls were painted a pale yellow, and the shelves were wooden and slightly worn. Tools of every shape and size were neatly arranged on the counter and walls. Raj loved his shop. It was small, but it was his world. Every day he repaired broken devices, fixed old machines, and helped people solve problems that seemed impossible to others. Even though he did not earn much money, he always found joy in seeing things work again because of his skill. Every morning, the street outside his shop came alive with the sounds of the city. Cars honked, people talked loudly, and the wind carried the smell of fresh bread from the bakery across the street. Raj liked to sit by the counter with a cup of tea while listening to these sounds. Sometimes children would peek through the windows, fascinated by the blinking lights of gadgets and devices in the shop. Raj would smile and wave at them. They reminded him of his own childhood, when he spent hours building small machines from old scraps. On one rainy afternoon, the sky turned gray and rain poured heavily. Water ran in small streams along the edges of the street. Raj was wiping the counter when he noticed a figure approaching the shop. It was a young woman named Mira. She looked worried and cold. Her clothes were wet and her hair stuck to her face. She held an old communication device in her hand. It was a little larger than a phone, and the screen had several cracks. Raj noticed the device had scratches and dents, as if it had been dropped many times. "Excuse me," Mira said softly. "Can you fix this?" Her voice was quiet, but there was hope in her eyes. Raj took the device and examined it carefully. The wires inside were exposed, the screen was damaged, and some parts were missing. It looked difficult to repair. "It will take some time," Raj said. "Do you want me to do it?" Mira nodded. She looked down and whispered, "I cannot pay much. I just need it to work again." Raj studied her for a moment. He saw worry and honesty in her eyes. She had nothing to hide, and she was not asking for much. Raj thought about the many times he had turned people away because they could not pay. But today, something felt different. He smiled and said, "I will fix it. You do not need to pay me. Just promise me you will use it well." Myra's eyes widened with surprise. "Are you sure?" she asked. Raj nodded. "Yes, everyone deserves help sometimes. You do not need to worry about money." S smiled, and a small light of hope appeared on her face. Raj handed her a towel to dry her wet hair and clothes. "Sit down," he said. Mira sat on a small stool near the counter. Raj cleaned the device carefully and placed all the pieces on a soft cloth. He worked slowly, connecting tiny wires, replacing broken parts, and adjusting the circuits. His hands moved skillfully, guided by years of experience. Even though the rain continued outside, the shop felt warm and quiet. The sound of water hitting the roof created a calm rhythm, and Raj worked peacefully. Hours passed. Mira watched quietly as Raj repaired the device. She noticed how patient and careful he was. Every movement of his hands seemed precise and confident. Sometimes he would stop and study the device, thinking about the best way to fix it. "You really enjoy this, don't you?" Mira asked. Raj smiled without looking up. "Yes. Fixing something broken is like giving it a new life. It is satisfying. It feels good to help." By evening, the device was fixed. The screen lit up, the buttons responded perfectly, and it looked almost new. Mira's eyes shone with happiness. She held the device carefully, afraid it might break again. "Thank you," she said softly. "I don't know how to repay you." Raj shook his head. "No need. Just use it well, and remember that someone cared enough to help." Mira smiled again and promised to do so. As she left, the rain slowed, and the sky turned a soft orange with the setting sun. Raj watched her disappear down the street. For a moment, he felt a warm glow inside, a feeling of satisfaction that was deeper than any money he could earn. He cleaned his tools, closed the shop, and went home. That night, Raj could not sleep. He kept thinking about Mira and how small acts of kindness could make a difference. His life was simple, but moments like this reminded him why he loved helping people. The next morning, Raj opened the shop as usual. The street was calm, and the city was waking up slowly. As he arranged his tools and devices, he noticed something unusual. Several shiny black cars with tinted windows were parked outside. They looked expensive, far more luxurious than the usual cars on the street. Raj frowned slightly. He did not know who these people were or why they were here. A few men and women in formal clothing stepped out of the cars. They walked toward his shop with confidence, as if they belonged somewhere important. Raj greeted them politely. "Can I help you?" he asked. The tallest man, wearing a black suit, looked at Raj and smiled slightly. "We heard about your work," he said, "and the help you gave to a woman yesterday. We want to talk to you." Raj was confused. "Why?" he asked. "I just repaired a device for someone," he said. The man nodded. "Yes, we know. That is why we came. We are looking for people who are skilled and honest, people who can make a real difference." Raj blinked. He did not fully understand, but he listened carefully. The visitors introduced themselves as part of a private research and innovation group. They explained that they traveled around the city and beyond, searching for talent and integrity. They had heard from Mira, who spoke highly of Raj. She had described his skill, patience, and kindness. Raj felt surprised and embarrassed. He was just doing his work, nothing extraordinary. But the visitors insisted. They explained that people with his combination of talent and character were rare. They offered him an opportunity to join a special project. Raj hesitated. His small shop was all he had. He did not like leaving it even for something promising. But he also thought about Mira's happiness when he fixed her device. Maybe he could help more people with greater resources. Maybe his work could reach farther than just his small neighborhood. After a long pause, he nodded. "I want to help," he said. "I am willing to learn." The visitors smiled. They seemed pleased. "Good," the tallest man said. "We will provide you with the equipment, space, and support to innovate. Your skill combined with honesty is exactly what we need." Raj spent the rest of the day thinking about the offer. He realized that helping someone without expecting anything had started a chain of events that could change his life. It felt strange, almost like magic, but it was not magic. It was his choice to help Mira, and that choice had opened a door to a new world. For the first time, he imagined a life where he could repair more than devices. He could repair problems in the world. He could create things that helped millions of people. As night fell, Raj sat outside his shop looking at the stars. The city lights reflected on the wet streets, and the air smelled of rain and fresh earth. He felt calm yet excited. A small act of kindness had brought him here. His hands had touched broken wires, but his heart had touched a human life. And that heart, honest and skilled, had been noticed by others. Raj realized that being true to oneself, helping without expecting reward, and staying humble could lead to opportunities far beyond what he imagined. When he finally went to sleep, Raj dreamed of a bright future. He saw his small shop growing into a place where ideas came alive, where machines and humans worked together, and where people could find help without fear or cost. He saw Mira smiling, holding her fixed device, representing all the lives he could touch. Raj felt ready. Tomorrow would bring new challenges, new tools, and new people. But one thing was certain, he would remain the same Raj, honest, skilled, and kind. The next morning, Raj opened his shop as usual. The street outside was quiet, with only a few people walking to work and a couple of street vendors arranging their stalls. Raj began cleaning the counter, organizing his tools, and checking the devices waiting to be repaired. Everything seemed normal at first. But as he wiped the window, he noticed something unusual. Several shiny black cars were parked directly outside his shop. Their polished surfaces reflected the morning sunlight, and the engines were still warm, indicating they had arrived recently. Raj's heart beat a little faster. He had never seen cars like these in his neighborhood. Each car looked expensive, almost like they belonged in a showroom. He stepped outside to get a closer look. As he approached, the car doors opened, and well-dressed people stepped out. They moved with confidence, their shoes making soft taps on the wet street. Their clothing was neat, their expressions serious but polite. Raj felt a mix of curiosity and nervousness. One of the men, taller than the others and wearing a black suit, approached Raj. He smiled faintly and spoke in a calm, confident voice. "Good morning. Are you Raj, the technician who helped a woman yesterday?" Raj was surprised. "Yes, that's me. Can I help you?" he asked cautiously. The man nodded. "We have heard about your work. The woman you helped spoke highly of your skill and your honesty. We wanted to meet you personally." Raj frowned. He did not fully understand. "I only fixed her device. It was nothing special." The man shook his head. "It is special. Not many people today would help someone without asking for payment. Not many people would spend hours fixing a device carefully just because it was the right thing to do. That is why we are here." Raj felt a mix of pride and confusion. He had never thought of his work as extraordinary. To him, it was simply part of life. He looked at the other people who had stepped out of the cars. They were polite, watching him with interest, but not impatient or demanding. One woman, wearing a blue dress, smiled warmly. "We are not here to take your time unfairly. We simply want to talk to you about an opportunity." Raj scratched his head, unsure what to say. "An opportunity?" he repeated. "I have a small shop. I repair devices. That is all I know." The tallest man gestured toward the cars. "We work with new technology, innovations, and research projects. We travel the world to find people with skill and integrity. When Mira told us about you, we realized that your abilities and character are rare. We would like to invite you to join a special project." Raj was silent for a moment. He had never imagined something like this could happen. He looked at the small shop around him, the simple tools and the devices waiting to be repaired. This was his world, a small corner of the city where he felt comfortable. But the men and women standing before him seemed to come from a completely different world. He felt nervous and curious at the same time. The tallest man continued, "We will provide everything you need: equipment, resources, and space to innovate. You will have freedom to design and build devices that can help many people. We only ask one thing: honesty and dedication." "That is why we came to you." Raj looked down, thinking carefully. His heart told him to remain humble, but his mind began to imagine possibilities. He could help more people, solve bigger problems, and learn things he had never seen before. Yet, a small part of him worried about leaving his shop, his familiar world, and the life he knew. The woman in the blue dress noticed his hesitation. She spoke softly. "Raj, we understand that this is a big decision. You do not have to decide immediately. But we saw how you helped Mira. That action shows us your character. If you are willing, you could do much more for the world." Raj nodded slowly. I want to help," he said quietly. "I want to learn and use my skills for something bigger." The tallest man smiled. "That is all we ask. Tomorrow, we will bring you to our facility. You will see the work we do and meet other people like you. For now, focus on your shop and prepare yourself for what is ahead." With that, the visitors returned to their cars. The engines roared softly and the black vehicles disappeared down the street, leaving Raj standing there in a quiet, almost empty street. He felt a mixture of excitement, fear, and curiosity. Could he really leave his small shop behind and enter a world of advanced technology and research? Could he maintain the honesty and humility that defined him? For the rest of the day, Raj could not focus on repairing devices. His mind kept returning to the visitors, their offer, and the possibilities that awaited him. He imagined working with new tools, learning advanced techniques, and creating devices that could help millions of people. But he also thought about his neighborhood, his small street, and the people who depended on him. Could he balance both worlds? That evening, Raj closed the shop and walked home slowly. The sun had set, and the city lights began to glow. Street lamps reflected on wet pavements, and the distant hum of traffic created a gentle rhythm. Raj thought about Mira, her smile, and the joy she felt when he fixed her device. That small act of kindness had started something he could never have imagined. The next day, as promised, the visitors returned. This time, 2 cars stopped outside the shop, and the tallest man stepped out along with 2 women and another man. They carried small bags, likely containing documents or devices. Raj greeted them and followed them to one of the cars. The interior was luxurious, with soft leather seats, quiet music, and a subtle fragrance that filled the air. Raj could not help but feel amazed. He had never been inside a car like this before as they drove through the city. Raj noticed how different the streets looked from this perspective. Tall buildings reflected the morning sun, and people moved quickly, busy with their work. The visitors spoke to him politely, explaining the basics of their project. They worked with new energy sources, advanced robotics, medical devices, and communication technologies. They searched for solutions that could improve life, make cities safer, and help people in need. Raj listened carefully. He realized that his skills, combined with his honesty, could play a key role in these projects. The visitors explained that the world needed people who could think clearly, work carefully, and act honestly. Talent alone was not enough. Character was just as important. Raj felt proud and nervous at the same time. Could he meet their expectations? Could he live up to the responsibility they were offering? After about an hour, they arrived at a large building outside the city. The facility was modern, with clean walls, glass windows, and a quiet courtyard with green plants. People moved through the hallways with purpose, carrying devices, laptops, and tools. Raj noticed some were young, others older, but all seemed focused and dedicated. The visitors introduced him to the team. Everyone welcomed him warmly, asking about his work, his shop, and his experience repairing devices. Raj felt nervous, but excited. He was just an ordinary repair technician, yet here he was, among some of the most skilled and honest people he had ever met. The tallest man smiled and said, "Raj, today you will see how we work and how you can contribute. We will start with small projects to understand your skills and creativity. Remember, honesty and patience are more important than speed." Raj nodded. He began to explore the facility, learning about the different sections. There was a robotics lab, an energy research area, a communications lab, and a place for building medical devices. Every section was filled with advanced tools and machines. Raj felt both awe and inspiration. He touched some devices carefully, observing their design, imagining how he could repair, improve, or innovate. The first project they gave him was to repair a small communication drone that had stopped working. Raj examined the device carefully, identifying the broken circuits and missing connections. He worked methodically, applying his skills and experience. Within a few hours, the drone was functioning perfectly. The team watched and smiled. They appreciated not only his technical skill, but also his careful, thoughtful approach. By evening, Raj felt exhausted but satisfied. He had worked with advanced devices, met skilled people, and realized that his abilities could make a bigger difference than he had ever imagined. The tallest man spoke to him once more before leaving. "You did well today. Remember, this is just the beginning. With honesty, skill, and dedication, you can achieve much more than you expect. Rest now, Raj. Tomorrow will bring new challenges." As Raj walked to his room in the facility, he looked at the night sky. The city below was quiet, but his mind was alive with ideas, excitement, and determination. He remembered Mira's smile, the rain, and the small shop where his journey began. He realized that helping someone without expecting reward had opened the door to something greater. The visitors had seen his skill and honesty. Now the world was opening up to him. Raj lay down to sleep, thinking of the possibilities. He knew challenges awaited him, but he also knew that honesty, patience, and skill would guide him through. A small act of kindness had started this journey, and he was ready to see where it would lead. Raj woke up early in the facility. The first rays of sunlight streamed through the large glass windows, casting long shadows on the polished floor. The facility was quiet at this hour, except for the soft hum of machines. Raj felt a mixture of excitement and nervousness. Today, he would start working on more complex projects, and he knew that this was an opportunity to test his skills in ways he had never imagined. He walked through the hallways carefully, observing the other people working. Everyone seemed focused and confident. Some were designing small robots, others were testing communication devices, and a few were studying energy cells that glowed softly in glass containers. Raj realized how different this world was from his small shop. Here, machines and ideas were larger than life, yet he felt that his knowledge of simple repairs could still be useful. The tallest man from yesterday approached him and smiled. "Good morning, Raj. Today, we want you to work on a project that will test your creativity as well as your skill. Are you ready?" Raj nodded. "Yes, I am ready." He was led to a large lab filled with tools, computers, and a wide variety of electronic devices. On a table lay a device he had never seen before. It was small but complex, with circuits, wires, and a tiny screen. The visitors explained that this device was a prototype for a communication system meant to help people in remote areas. It had stopped working, and the team could not figure out the problem. They believed Raj's hands-on experience and patience might uncover a solution. Raj examined the device carefully. He noticed small faults that others had overlooked: tiny wires that were slightly bent, a loose connection, and a software component that needed adjustment. He worked methodically, connecting wires, testing circuits, and using tools he had never seen before. Even though the technology was advanced, he applied his knowledge of simple repairs, breaking the problem into smaller parts and solving each step. Hours passed and the sun moved high in the sky. Raj worked quietly, focused, and persistent. The team observed him in silence, impressed by his methodical approach and patience. Finally, after carefully adjusting the circuits and recalibrating the device, he pressed a button and the screen lit up. A small robotic voice said, "Connection established." Everyone in the lab smiled. The tallest man came forward and clapped Raj on the shoulder. "Excellent work, Raj. You saw what others missed, and you approached the problem with clarity and patience. This is exactly why we wanted you here." Raj felt a warm glow of pride. He realized that, even in a world full of advanced machines, his simple skills, patience, and honesty made a difference. Yet, he also knew this was only the beginning. Over the next few days, Raj worked on several projects. He learned to operate advanced machines, studied robotics, and experimented with new energy sources. He met other skilled people, each with unique talents. Some were brilliant engineers, others were programmers, and a few were designers who created devices that could change the way people lived. Despite their skills, Raj noticed that what set him apart was his humility and willingness to help others. One afternoon, the team faced a major challenge. A large drone designed to deliver medical supplies to remote areas had stopped working. The engineers could not figure out why it kept losing power mid-flight. Raj was asked to take a look. He examined the drone carefully, checking each component. He discovered a small connection that was misaligned and a software error that caused the drone to miscalculate its energy usage. He corrected both problems and tested the drone. It worked perfectly, flying smoothly across the lab's testing area. The team cheered, and Raj felt a sense of accomplishment. He realized that his small acts of care and attention, which he had practiced in his small shop, were now solving problems on a much larger scale. This thought filled him with pride and responsibility. However, challenges continued to rise. Some projects were more difficult, and not everything worked as expected. Raj faced situations where his repairs did not succeed the first time, and he had to think creatively to find new solutions. He felt pressure, but he reminded himself of the values he had always followed: patience, honesty, and persistence. He remembered Mira's smile and the happiness he had felt when he helped her. That memory became his guide whenever he felt overwhelmed. One evening, as Raj was working on a prototype for a clean energy device, he received unexpected news. A large company had learned about the facility's projects and wanted to purchase some of the designs. They offered a large amount of money, promising fame and recognition for the team. Some of the engineers were excited and began discussing the deal. Raj, however, felt uneasy. Selling the design for profit could limit its reach and accessibility. He worried that it might not help the people who needed it most. The tallest man noticed Raj's concern. He asked Raj, "What are you thinking?" Raj explained his worry. "If we sell this to a company, it might not reach the people who need it. I want to help as many as possible, not just make money."
Oh.
The man smiled. "That is why you are here, Raj. Skill is important, but your heart is what guides your work." We value people who think about the greater good. You are right to consider how your work can help humanity, not just bring profit. Raj felt reassured. He realized that this facility was not just about technology or money. It was about using human skill and intelligence to improve lives. The experience taught him that the greatest reward came from helping others and solving real problems. It's not just personal gain. As weeks passed, Raj's skills grew. He learned to combine simple techniques with advanced technology, creating devices that were both efficient and practical. He repaired broken machines, designed prototypes, and shared his knowledge with the team. His small acts of care, once limited to his neighborhood, now reached hundreds of people who depended on the facility's work. One day, the visitors brought Mira to the facility. She had a small project of her own and wanted guidance. Raj smiled when he saw her. He remembered the first day he helped her in the rain. Mira looked around the facility in awe. She was impressed by the advanced machines and the team working together. Raj guided her patiently, showing her how to repair devices and encouraging her to think creatively. Mira learned quickly, and Raj felt proud. Helping her now was even more meaningful because he could pass on the values he had always followed. Through these experiences, Raj realized that skill alone was not enough. Patience, honesty, humility, and compassion were equally important. These qualities allowed him to solve problems effectively, gain trust, and inspire others. The facility became a place where he could grow as a person. While using his abilities for the greater good, despite all the progress, Raj never forgot his small shop. He often thought about the street, the children, and the neighbors who depended on him. He promised himself that he would find ways to bring his knowledge and inventions back to the community. The facility had given him resources and knowledge, but his heart remained connected to the people who had trusted him long before anyone noticed his talent. As part 3 of his journey came to a close, Raj stood in the middle of the lab looking at the machines around him. He realized how far he had come from the small shop in the quiet street. Yet, he also knew this was only the beginning. Challenges would continue to rise. But he had discovered that his greatest strength lay not just in his hands or his mind, but in his heart, with skill, patience, and compassion. He was ready to face whatever came next. Raj's journey was no longer just about repairing machines. It was about building a better future. Every device he fixed, every challenge he solved, and every person he helped was a step toward something greater. And he knew that one day the small act of kindness he had shown Myra would ripple across the world, proving that true humanity was not measured by wealth or power, but by honesty, skill, and the willingness to help others. Raj had been at the facility for several weeks now. Each day was filled with learning, creating, and problem-solving. The once small repair technician from a quiet street had transformed into a skilled innovator who could handle advanced devices and complex systems. Yet, despite the new skills and resources, Raj remained humble. He still remembered the rain-soaked day when he helped Mira, and how that small act of kindness had opened a door to a new world. The facility was bustling one morning. Engineers and technicians moved quickly, carrying devices and tools from one lab to another. Large screens displayed data, and the soft hum of machines filled the air. Raj was working on a medical drone that could deliver supplies to remote villages. The device had multiple mechanical parts, energy circuits, and a navigation system that required precise calibration. Raj carefully examined each component, adjusting connections and testing software functions. His hands moved with confidence, guided by experience and patience. Suddenly, an alarm sounded. The drone had stopped functioning during a live test. The team rushed over, concerned. Raj took a deep breath and examined the device again. He quickly identified a problem in the energy module and a small calibration error in the navigation system. Others had overlooked these details, but Raj's careful observation allowed him to spot the faults. He made the necessary adjustments and restarted the drone. It lifted smoothly, gliding across the testing area without any issues. The team cheered, and one of the engineers exclaimed, "Raj, you did it again. How did you notice that?" Raj smiled quietly. Sometimes the smallest detail makes the biggest difference. You have to be patient and look carefully. This event became a turning point. The facility's leadership recognized Raj not just for his skill, but for his methodical approach and his ability to remain calm under pressure. The tallest man, who had first invited him, approached Raj later in the day. "Your work today shows that intelligence combined with patience and honesty is rare," he said. "You are becoming an essential part of our team. Keep following this path, and you will achieve great things." Raj felt a surge of pride but remained grounded. He knew that challenges would only grow bigger. Over the next few days, he faced a series of complex problems. One project involved repairing an energy generator that could power an entire village for weeks. The generator had multiple circuits, and the software controlling it was highly advanced. Raj spent hours studying the design, understanding each connection, and testing the system. When he finally fixed it, the generator ran efficiently, supplying clean energy to the simulated village model. The team was amazed. Another project involved designing a communication device that could transmit signals across mountains and valleys. Raj used his knowledge of circuits, combined with the advanced technology available at the facility, to create a device that was both simple and powerful. He tested it in various conditions, ensuring it worked reliably. Each success reinforced his confidence, but he remained humble, always remembering the values that had brought him here. Amid these technical challenges, Raj also faced moral decisions. A large company approached the facility, offering a substantial sum to purchase some of the inventions. Many team members were excited by the offer, discussing fame and recognition. Raj, however, worried about the consequences. If the devices were sold to a company, they might not reach the people who needed them most. Raj voiced his concern to the team. "We should think about how these devices can help humanity, not just how much money we can earn," he said. The tallest man nodded in agreement. Raj is right. True innovation should serve people. Money and fame are secondary. Your concern shows wisdom beyond technical skill. This decision further solidified Raj's reputation within the facility. People respected not only his skill, but also his integrity. They began to see him as a leader, someone whose advice could guide difficult decisions. Raj felt a sense of responsibility. He realized that being talented was not enough. How he used his talent mattered even more. One afternoon, Mira returned to the facility. She had been working on a small project to help local schools with educational tools. Raj guided her patiently, teaching her how to design devices that were simple, effective, and reliable. Mira learned quickly, and Raj felt proud to see her grow. Helping her now was more meaningful because he could pass on the values he had always followed. The success of Raj's projects began to attract attention outside the facility. People in the city and beyond heard about the skilled technician who could solve problems others could not. Visitors came to the facility, curious to see his work. Some were engineers, others were students or local leaders. Raj welcomed them warmly, explaining his methods and encouraging them to think carefully, work patiently, and act honestly. Despite the growing recognition, Raj never let success change him. He continued to repair small devices for local residents whenever he returned to his old neighborhood. Even with advanced skills and resources, he believed that every act of help, no matter how small, mattered. Children still peered through the window of his old shop, and neighbors smiled when they saw him. Raj knew that true impact combined both large-scale innovation and simple acts of kindness. Challenges became more complex as the facility expanded its projects. Raj faced situations where devices failed repeatedly, requiring multiple attempts to find solutions. He encountered problems that were not purely technical, but required careful thinking, creativity, and teamwork. Each challenge tested his skill, patience, and determination. Raj realized that persistence was as important as intelligence. Success was often a result of consistent effort and careful observation. One day, the facility received an urgent request. A village far from the city had lost power due to a natural disaster, and the medical devices there had stopped functioning. Raj was asked to design a temporary energy system that could restore power quickly. He worked tirelessly, using portable generators, solar panels, and energy circuits to create a reliable solution. Within hours, he had a working system ready for deployment. The village received power, and the medical devices began functioning again. The team celebrated. But Raj quietly reminded them that the goal was not personal recognition, it was helping people. Through these experiences, Raj learned that true strength was not just in machines or technology, but in the ability to think clearly, act honestly, and work patiently. He realized that intelligence combined with compassion created solutions that could change lives. His small acts of kindness, once limited to a neighborhood, now influenced entire communities. As Raj grew more confident in his work, the facility began assigning him leadership responsibilities. He guided teams of engineers and technicians, coordinated projects, and mentored new members. He emphasized the importance of honesty, patience, and careful observation. Under his guidance, projects succeeded more efficiently, and the team became more cohesive. Raj discovered that teaching and mentoring were as rewarding as repairing devices or creating new inventions. Despite the rising challenges, Raj remained grounded. He still woke up early, walked through the facility, observing projects, and spent time thinking about improvements. He often reflected on the day he helped Mira, realizing that one simple act of kindness had changed the course of his life. That memory reminded him that success was not just about talent or opportunity. It was about the choices made with integrity and compassion. Months passed, and the facility's work began gaining public recognition. News outlets reported on the innovative devices created by the team, emphasizing the human-centered approach that guided their projects. Raj became a symbol of skill, patience, and integrity. People admired his work not just for technical brilliance but for the values he upheld. One evening, as Raj walked through the facility courtyard, he saw the city's skyline in the distance. The lights reflected off the water in a small fountain, and the soft hum of machines in the labs created a calm rhythm. He thought about how far he had come from his small shop. His journey was no longer about repairing devices alone. It was about using his abilities to help humanity, inspire others, and solve real problems. Raj knew that challenges would continue to grow. The facility had bigger projects, advanced technology, and higher expectations. But he also knew that his greatest strength lay not just in his hands or mind, but in his heart. With honesty, patience, skill, and compassion, he was ready to face whatever came next. As he returned to his room that night, Raj reflected on the lessons he had learned. Talent alone could achieve results, but character gave it purpose. Intelligence guided solutions, but compassion ensured they were meaningful. Patience allowed success to last, and humility kept it grounded. Raj realized that the journey he had begun with a simple act of kindness had taught him the true meaning of human strength. He lay down to sleep, thinking of Myra, his old neighborhood, and the people who had trusted him long before anyone noticed his talent. He felt proud, not of the recognition or the advanced projects, but of the choice he had made to help someone without expecting anything in return. That choice had opened doors to opportunities far beyond what he could imagine, and now he was ready to continue building a future where skill, honesty, and compassion worked together to make the world better. Raj had grown accustomed to the rhythm of the facility. Each day brought new challenges, new devices to repair, and new ideas to explore. Yet, despite the complexity of his work and the recognition he had gained, he remained humble. He remembered the small shop on the quiet street and the first time he had helped Myra. That single act of kindness had set him on this journey, and he never forgot that lesson. True strength lay in helping others without expecting anything in return. One morning, the tallest man approached Raj with a serious expression. "Raj, we have a special project for you," he said. "It is one of the most important tasks we have ever faced. Are you ready?" Raj nodded. He felt a mix of excitement and nervousness. "Yes, I am ready," he replied. The project involved designing a network of devices to provide clean water and energy to several remote villages. Recent floods had damaged local infrastructure, and the residents had no access to electricity or clean water. The task was enormous. It required advanced technology, careful planning, and a solution that could work in harsh conditions. Raj understood that the success of this project could change the lives of hundreds, maybe thousands of people. He began by studying the needs of the villages. The first challenge was water purification. Raj designed a small, portable device that could filter and purify water using solar energy. He tested it repeatedly, ensuring it worked efficiently, even in cloudy weather. Then, he turned to energy. Using advanced solar panels and energy storage units, he created a system that could provide electricity reliably to homes and small clinics. Finally, he designed a communication device that allowed the villagers to contact the facility for help and guidance. Working on this project was exhausting. Raj spent long hours in the lab, testing prototypes, adjusting circuits, and running simulations. His colleagues assisted him, but he remained at the center, ensuring that every detail was correct. He remembered the values that had guided him from the beginning: patience, honesty, and compassion. These principles shaped every decision he made. After weeks of preparation, the devices were ready for deployment. Raj traveled with a team to the villages, carrying the equipment in trucks and carefully transporting fragile components. The villagers gathered to watch, curious and hopeful. Raj explained how each device worked, demonstrating the water purifier, the energy system, and the communication device. He trained local volunteers to operate and maintain the systems. By the end of the day, clean water flowed from the purifiers. Electricity lit up homes and clinics, and communication devices connected the villages to the facility. The villagers cheered, and their gratitude touched Raj deeply. He felt the same warmth he had felt years ago when he helped Mira. The difference now was larger in scale, but the principle remained the same: help without expecting reward. This project reminded him that skill combined with integrity could create lasting impact. Returning to the facility, Raj found a new sense of purpose. The success of the villages became a model for future projects. The facility's leadership recognized his efforts, praising not only his technical skill, but also his dedication to using technology for the greater good. Raj felt proud, but he remained grounded. He knew that the true reward was seeing people's lives improved, not fame or recognition. As news of the project spread, more visitors came to the facility. Engineers, students, and local leaders wanted to learn from Raj and his team. Raj welcomed them, teaching with patience and clarity. He emphasized that technology was only valuable when used to serve people, and that compassion and honesty were as important as skill. His influence grew, not through ambition, but through the example he set. Mira visited again, this time leading a small team of students who wanted to help in the villages. Raj guided her, sharing his knowledge and encouraging creativity. He was proud to see her confidence and skill grow. Mira's success reminded him of the ripple effect of kindness. A single act could inspire others to act with integrity and compassion. One evening, as Raj walked through the facility courtyard, he reflected on his journey. From a small repair shop to leading life-changing projects, he had grown in ways he had never imagined. Yet, he also realized that the foundation of his journey had remained simple: help others, stay honest, and work patiently. These principles had brought him far beyond what he had ever dreamed. The tallest man approached Raj with a thoughtful expression. "Raj, your journey has been remarkable," he said. "You have shown that human skill, combined with integrity and compassion, can achieve extraordinary results. We want to offer you a permanent leadership role in the facility, guiding future projects and mentoring new innovators." Raj paused. Leadership meant more responsibility, more challenges, and less time for hands-on work. But he also saw the opportunity to create a larger impact. After a moment of thought, he nodded. "I accept," he said. "I want to continue helping people and guiding others to do the same." With this new role, Raj began to oversee multiple projects at once. He coordinated teams, guided research, and ensured that every project remained true to the principle of serving humanity. He encouraged collaboration, innovation, and ethical decision-making. Under his guidance, the facility became a hub of creativity, skill, and compassion. Despite his growing responsibilities, Raj never forgot his roots. He continued to visit his old neighborhood, helping residents with small repairs, teaching children about basic technology and inspiring them to dream big. The shop where he had started became a symbol of hope. People admired Raj not just for his achievements, but for staying true to his values. Over time, luxury cars and advanced equipment surrounded his presence, a stark contrast to the humble street where he had begun. But Raj remained the same person inside, patient, humble, and committed to helping others. He realized that true success was not measured by wealth or recognition, but by the positive impact one created in the lives of others. One day, Mira approached him with a small invention she had designed for her school. Raj examined it carefully, smiling at the simplicity and creativity. "This is excellent, Mira," he said. "You have taken the lessons you learned and applied them with skill and thoughtfulness. Keep going. Your work will inspire others." Mira's success filled Raj with joy. He saw the ripple effect of his guidance and the choices he had made. One small act of kindness had grown into a chain of positive actions affecting countless lives. This realization reinforced his belief that integrity and compassion were more powerful than any technology. As the sun set, Raj walked through the courtyard, reflecting on the journey. The facility was alive with activity, machines humming, people discussing projects, and ideas taking shape. Raj felt content. He had achieved recognition and success. But the true reward was far greater, the ability to change lives, inspire others, and leave a lasting impact on the world. Raj's story spread throughout the city and beyond. People admired not just his technical skill, but his character. He became a symbol of human excellence, showing that true innovation combined intelligence, skill, and compassion. Schools invited him to speak, communities sought his guidance, and other innovators followed his example. Yet, Raj remained humble, focused on the work itself, and on helping people in need. One evening, Raj returned to his old shop. It had been renovated slightly, but the simple charm remained. He walked through the shelves, touching the tools that had guided his hands from the beginning. Children from the neighborhood peeked through the window and he smiled at them. He shared stories, taught basic repair skills, and encouraged curiosity. The cycle continued. A small act of kindness, patience, guidance, creating a chain of positive change. Raj realized that the journey had come full circle. From helping Mira in a rain-soaked street to leading life-changing projects across villages and communities, he had stayed true to his values. Every invention, every repair, every act of guidance reflected the principle that had always guided him: help without expecting reward. Act with integrity and use skill to make the world better. As he closed the shop for the night, Raj looked at the stars in the sky. He thought about the people he had helped, the innovations he had guided, and the lives that had been touched by simple acts of honesty and compassion. He knew that the story of his journey would continue through the people he had inspired, proving that human skill and heart could create extraordinary results. Raj smiled, feeling a deep sense of fulfillment. Luxury cars and advanced technology might surround him, but his true success was measured in lives changed, communities improved, and values upheld. He had started with a small act of kindness, and that single choice had grown into a legacy of skill, integrity, and compassion. With that thought, Raj walked into the quiet night, ready for the challenges of tomorrow, knowing that the true reward of his journey was not wealth, recognition, or luxury, but the power to help, inspire, and create a better world.